get my 6. Hey guys, welcome back to Homesteading Off the Grid. Today we are installing our nuke of 8,000 honeybees with 1 queen into our new beehive box. Now, let's say that for some time you've wanted to have honeybees because you have a garden, you have fruit trees, you don't get a lot of fruit or vegetables. You know that if you had honeybees you want more, but my gosh, getting all those honeybees, putting the boxes together, it entails so much. I don't know anything about it. What do I do? Well, you're at the right place because I've never, ever done this before in my life. This is the very first time my family and I have ever had honeybees. Ow. All right, so let's get right to it. In all seriousness, there are 5 frames of bees inside this nuke box that we just bought. Went and picked it up this morning, brought it home. Since we did bring the bees almost 1 hour one way in the back of the truck, I've allowed it to sit here for about 3 hours so they could settle down a bit. We're now going to install them, and I'm going to show you how to do that step by step. And please keep in mind, this is the very first time I've ever done this. I watched the video produced by the supplier of the bees, and then they talked to me about it today when I picked up the bees, walked me through it step by step verbally again. So if you're new, you're brand new, you've never done it, this is a video for you because you're going to see exactly what it's like. So I want to ask you one favor. While we're doing this, pay close attention to me and everything I'm doing with the bees, and ignore entirely any potential Bigfoot Sasquatch that you may or may not see in the background back here, okay? We potentially, just maybe, might have one of these or more than one of these things living in the woods behind our home, and they love to watch everything we do. If they come back here trying to draw your attention away from the bees and what I'm doing, entirely ignore them. You've got to view it as if they're children misbehaving. The more attention you give the misbehavior, the more it will continue. The best you can do is ignore it and hope it subsides. Now, with this said, listen, I got the basic equipment as recommended by the supplier, okay, to do this with. So I'm going to show you what I got, walk you through every single aspect of this, okay? So I got I would advise you to move slowly and quietly around your bees. Happy place. Happy place. Okay. I didn't buy the full suit. Maybe I should have. But I did buy this hat. I'll put this on here in a minute. That will cover my face and my neck. The straps go below my arms. I tried it on in the house. It's a perfect fit. I'll show you that. And I did get the goat skin gloves, and these come up to my elbows. I figured that's all I'd need. Ow. Okay. Now, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to smoke them. All right, so with my beginner's kit, I got a smoker also, and I got what they call a hive tool, which kind of looks like one of those things you scrape paint with. This is to pry the top off your box. Our boxes that we bought on Amazon, that we assembled ourselves once we got them, they were like $104. They're coated with wax, and we've got our boxes placed in an area facing southwest. From sun up till sundown, they're in full sun. Bees like that. And again, I'm not acting like I know everything about this. I pretty much know nothing other than what I've read and the videos I've watched and what the folks told me today. But I have learned that the wax has melted in the sun and it makes the top of our box stick. So this does help pry that open. And we got a brush, a bee brush to brush down. We'll be brushing down the excess bees from the lid from this nuke and the bottom of the container. And my kit also came with a smoker. I think I got my kit for like $45. I think if you buy these individually, they're like 25 bucks. I'm going to show you how to do this, how it works. Again, first time for me. There's a this thing in there so that you can get oxygen, of course, underneath whatever it is that you're burning. And I've watched various videos on YouTube about this. There's some really knowledgeable people on YouTube, way more knowledgeable than me. I mean, the only like benefit to watching these things on my channel, well, there's two. Like, if I'm just like brutally honest, when I screw up, you see it, and so maybe you can learn mistakes to avoid, and then also potentially, I mean, just maybe, you may or may not see more than you bargained for back here in the background somewhere. Yeah, I thought I saw it too earlier. Keep your eyes right here. You're like, yeah, but where specifically might you see? I'm telling you, like right there, okay? Well, it's right there. Okay, so I've got my thingy thing in the smoker, and now my kit, I've seen on some of those other videos, people will burn pine needles or, ow, hold on. Cardboard. I got smoker fuel. It just came with my kit. Whew. Okay, now I read the instructions. It said it doesn't take much of this. I like to smell stuff before I use it. Okay, so I'm just going to put it, well, I'm going to light it first. Oh wait, I saw something come across my phone. Excuse me, it's a comment from one of my other YouTube videos. You're an idiot. All right, hold on. Here, let me light this. This particular stuff says you may or may not see a flame. Wow, cool, look. Potentially, you'll see a flame. You may or may not. So it's lit. I'm gonna drop it in here. Hope it's lit enough. But now I'm going to put this lid on, and I'm going to shut it. And then this is really neat. It has like a, what do you call these things? An iron lung. It has an iron lung on the back. Look at that. You go like that, and it feeds oxygen in there, and it creates a little bit of smoke. So they told me, I asked them, what is the purpose of the smoke at the bee getting place today? And they said it's to, basically when you smoke the bees, it reduces their ability to communicate with each other. So while you're working with them, they can't like mass attack you. It's so that the nuke can't nuke you. So I need to light it a little bit more, it appears. Again, what this does, this smoke reduces their ability to communicate effectively. So, let's see if it works. Testing, testing. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickles. Peter and some other guy, it works. So let's put it over here. Okay, it might not be showing up in the camera, but there's a little bit of like a trickle of smoke coming out. They told me not to over smoke them because you can confuse the bees and make them think there's like a forest fire somewhere, and they will actually start to evacuate their living space here. So now, time to expose the grays and put on the gear, because I'm about ready to open this sucker up. No, that was just it. My back was itching. I thought I got stung. These go under the arms, over the head. Look at this. Now, here's the thing about equipment, okay? Where our bees are, our bee yard, our aviary here, there is a little bit of road frontage. We have a pretty private property for the most part. We planted some tree lines here to completely block view of traffic, but we're still 2 or 3 years away from that. So for now, while people, you know, can see us out here, while they can see me, it's all about looking good, okay? Now, of course, the equipment is effective, and you want to make sure your equipment is effective. I mean, the whole purpose of it is for it to, you know, protect you from stings, should you get any. But come on, man, it's America. You want to look good, right? You hear these cars going by me? These people going by me, they don't know me. They know nothing about me unless they watch me on YouTube, and then maybe they're the person that said I was an idiot. Maybe they know something about me. I don't know. But let's say they don't. Let's say they've never heard of this channel, okay? They never see me on here. They don't know about the he, she, it, or they, which may or may not live here in the woods behind our home. They drive by, man, and they see me like this. They're like, man, that guy knows so much about bees. That dude is like a professional beekeeper. And again, this is the very first time ever I've done this. I don't know anything about what I'm about ready to do. So make sure you look good, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the box. I'm going to open the nuke, and I'm going to try to move the camera a little bit closer so you can get a better view. And as far as, I made sure to wear a long sleeve t-shirt. I'm wearing pants, and I've got my pants tucked down into my boots, and I've got them tied tightly so that way any bees don't fall down there and sting me on the feet. So let's see if we can get you a better view here. You hear that rooster over there? He's watching me. He's like, hey guys, come look what he's getting ready to do now. All right, so here's the deal. I've got 10 deep frames in each box, and right now there are no bees living in either of these two boxes. We had tried to lure in and trap some wild swarms, but I want fruit and vegetables this year. We've got about 60 fruit trees we plant on this property. We've got multiple garden spaces, flowers everywhere. I learned today an interesting fact, because we do have, oh, the smoker's working really good now. We have, hold on. Oh yeah, he took a big hit. You see that? He's like, whoa, I'm done. Cut me off. So we have yellow tulip poplar trees everywhere. And the gentleman at the bee place today told me that one mature yellow tulip poplar tree will provide as much pollen as 2.5 acres worth of wildflowers in a field. That's amazing. Because a lot of people are like, well, what purpose is a tulip poplar? 2.5 acres worth of wildflowers. So we're going to take the lid off after I move it over, of course, because I've got to take the lid off on my hive where we're going to have them permanently. I've got 10 frames in here. We're going to take out 6. Now listen, we're only putting 5 in. I've taken out 6 to give myself room. Once we get the 5 in that have the bees on it, we're going to put in 1 more. I just want to have the extra space to work with. That was recommended to me today as a beginner. So it's going to be tight. They're going to be in there tight once we get them in there. And I'm just talking right now because I'm putting off the inevitable. All right, let me do this. I got this in case I need it, but for now, let's get to it. We'll put this here. Now, I'm going to take off my lid. This is where they will be going. And this is where that tool I mentioned comes into play. This is stuck here. This has a telescoping lid, inner lid on top of this. And I want you to see this because, again, if you know nothing about this, you and I are on the same page. So I want to make sure to show you this part. There. You see here, this is the actual lid to the hive, and then this has there's an inner lid here that we'll be putting in there. But now here's my frames. See here, I've got 10 frames. I'm going to take out 5. And now they told me, this is in the videos I saw and what the gentleman told me today at the store, I'm going to take them out on the left side. So when I put these in, I'm going to want to put the furthest left here, furthest left here. I want to keep it as it was. So here's 3 right there. And I have a confession to make, and I'm sure you already know this. I'm a terrible liar, and I'm also a terrible actor. This, according to many of our viewers here on our YouTube channel. So earlier, I tried to act like I got stung. The truth of the matter is, I didn't get stung. Thus far, I've not been stung, okay? I was just trying to make it look good for the video, like I was getting stung, but I could still just kind of hang out here and be man enough to take it and keep going. But I don't want to give you the wrong impression. These little honeybees are just sweethearts. And as long as you're not, out here, being like an ogre, blah, blah, honey, blah, going nice and easy. From what I understand, from the research I've done, you don't really have a whole lot to worry about. If I do get stung, like for reals, I'll tell you, okay? So now I'm gonna pop the top. Wow, look at that. Bees everywhere. So I'm just gonna lay this off to the side. They've built some wax comb on top. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna do my best not to block your view here as I do this. Now I'm just gonna have my smoke lane here. I don't wanna over smoke them. In reality, I would rather maybe get stung once or twice than to harm my bees. That smoke's going right over top of them. I'm sure that's going to be just fine. So let's get started with the first one. I'm trying not to block your view here. Look at that. Look at this. Well, you talk about a bunch of bees. Look at these bees. Bees, bees, bees. Busy, busy, busy. Making that honey. So again, this was the furthest on the left in the nuke, so we're going to put this in the furthest on the left here. There is space on the sides of this box to where I'm not crushing bees as I go down, but I still want to go down slowly because I don't want to harm any of these beautiful, beautiful ladies here. By the way, the gentleman we bought the bees from told us that the name of the queen in this nuke is Isabella. So we're happy to welcome Queen Isabella and her 8,000 roommates to our place here on our homestead. We'll take a look and see here. I don't know where Miss Queen Isabella is, but maybe we'll get to see her on one of these. You see one that looks bigger than the rest? Guys, now listen, I bought a book. I still haven't finished reading it, so I'm not going to act like I did. But it's called Beekeeping for Dummies. I've heard a lot of praise about that book. The people I got the bees from highly suggested the book. And but the guy told me, and he said, I'll read this in the book. Once the queen mates, he said she goes out on a maiden flight and she'll mate with 12 or 15 drones and then come back. Once she starts laying eggs, she lays between 1,200 and 2,000 eggs a day for the rest of her life. Wow. Wow, that's a lot. All right, let's keep going before I lose my courage. So far, no stings. All right, so let's get this one separated. They're kind of starting to get stuck together here a little bit with a little bit of comb. And again, guys, another benefit to this video, or an aspect of this video over a professional, I have literally, like my 4th grade son's favorite new word this year, have never ever done this before in my life. And you can see how easily I'm getting it done. Look at that. And here's a little bee landed on my arm, and she's got pollen all over her hind legs. She's been out flying around, huh? Oh, is that the queen? No. I put it in, and I want to slide them over to get them, you know, as close to the neighboring frames as possible. So I'm going to have room to get that 6th one back in there. Okay. Now a note on the equipment. And I said, you know, about how it's so important to look good and make it look like you know what you're doing. You've probably heard a few cars have driven by within sight of me while I've been doing this. And what I will tell you is, while I was holding these frames with this equipment on, those vehicles did slow down and those people did gawk. So it's highly effective in making me look like I know what I'm doing, to the point to where people are actually slowing down to watch. So the equipment is working as it's supposed to work. Now we're down to our 5th and final frame. We're going to put it right here. And yes, I did just notice that I am straddling a basket of bees right now. And that's a scary thought if you were to think about what could go wrong at this one moment in time. I'm thinking if I sing them a soothing song, they will have mercy on me and not take advantage. And it worked. So if in doubt, sing a soothing song. All right. So we've got our 5 slats filled with bees in. So now we're going to replace. Remember, I told you we took out 6 so that we would have plenty of room to work with. Before I put this one back, I'm going to make sure these are, yep, they got plenty of room. They're crawling around. They look happy. Oh, look at those happy bees. 8,000 perfectly happy honeybees. I'm going to put this one in. Now, here comes potentially, I love that word, potentially one of the creepiest parts of this. There are a ton of bees left in here. Well, not a ton. About well, some. Look, check it out. So I'm supposed to like knock this box on the ground so they'll all just boom, clump together, and I dump them in. Oh, and that's where this new brush, you know, I bought this brush. I paid good money for this. So I'm going to use it. I was going to use my hand, but if I bought this, I'm going to use it. Look at all these bees everywhere. It's like, wow, surrounded by bees. Ah, whoa, what's up? Okay, so watch, check it out. Wow, look at that. And then you dump them in. Sweep them down, dump them in. You know what? I don't want to test fate. Do you see this swarm around me? The rest of these suckers, they can come out on their own free will and fly in there. Come on, Crazy Lake. Are you checking it out? Yeah. Nah, let's do it the right way. We're making a video after all, aren't we? Look at that. All right, now we've got a bunch on the lid over here. So let's sweep them in there. See that? Same thing. We're just gonna, well, I don't want to knock them down. They'll fall through this. Let's put them in there like that. Wow. I am crazier than I thought. There are literally, like my son would say, hundreds of bees flying in front of my face right now. Potentially, as I would say. But guys, thus far, I've not been stung. And again, just being seriously here, I know I goof off a little bit. A lot of you might not get my dad humor as I'm told it is. I don't know what that means. I guess it means I'm funny and yeah, I have a kid, so I'm a dad. But in all seriousness, this is easy. I mean, again, I've never done this before. And so I've got the bees in there. I've got the frames in there. So now I'm going to put this top back on. Oh, I hope I don't hurt any bees doing it. Come on now, get in there, girl. Get in there, girl. Just put that on there like this. Like that. Okay. You line it up. And then we put our lid back on. Gosh, this is so easy. It's like... Whoops, might have banged a little harder than I would have preferred to, but... And now I've got these extra frames. Here's 5 extra frames. I've been considering like buying a wild swarm trap box for one of my maple trees down here. I'll use those for that because most of those traps don't come with frames. So these extra bees, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put them right here beside the box. Now, here's something I was actually confused about. I'm going to reverse the phone to show you this. And listen, I'm taking my gloves off for this. I trust these girls. All right, so here we are. I want to give you a close-up. I was confused about down here. Do you see this very small opening where they're going in? This is a separate piece of wood, this stick that goes all the way along across the bottom. I could turn it sideways and it would allow this to be their entrance, which as you can see is about 6 times wider than this entrance. As it was explained to me, here's the deal, okay? Even though there are about 8,000 bees in here, at one point, maybe here in a couple months, if all goes well, there will be about 20,000 bees in here. But for now, this colony will post guards just inside that door. Look, they're landing all over me and they're not stinging me. They're just curious. They're like, hey, who's this guy? Look at all that pollen on her legs. She's going to go in there and turn that into honey. Delicious honey. Oh my goodness. I'll tell you what, these potential Bigfoot Sasquatch that live around here, I mean, if they do, I'm just saying, you know, and they're probably up here watching us right now. What is that? Man, they're going to try to get my honey. I got to figure out how to keep the Bigfoot Sasquatch from getting my honey. They usually stay up that way, but geez, we've seen some odd things down here, okay? But anyway, these bees will post guards inside this door to keep out beetles, lizards, hornets, all kinds of stuff that want to get in there and eat the honey and even eat the bees. Well, as their numbers multiply and as they increase, here in about 2 or 3 weeks, I'll come out and I'll take this stick out and I'll flip it around, maybe in 2 weeks. Then the entrance will be 6 times larger, so they'll be able to come and go easier than they can now with the smaller entrance. And as it was explained to me, here in a couple months, when there's about 20,000 bees in here, I'll take the stick out entirely and the entire bottom portion will be open so they can come and go because they'll have enough guards to post in there, okay? And this is all information for another date, another time, but this hive box will eventually go on top of this one. This lid will come off. We'll put the hive on top of this one because bees, as they colonize, grow their colonies, they go up, not sideways. I was told these bees will never move into these. When a new queen comes out, or as they grow in numbers, they go up. So there you have it, guys. That's all there is to it. Again, in all seriousness, I have never done this before in my life. This is absolutely my first time. The bee nuke cost me about $215. The boxes were, again, $99 on Amazon, $104 after shipping, or taxes were prime, so we get free shipping. I assembled them in no time. They're easy to assemble. Look, there's bees all over me. I haven't been stung once. Just followed the simple instructions I saw on YouTube. Hopefully, I shared them with you effectively on this video. Wow. If you guys would have seen what I just saw up there in the tree line of my woods. Guys, I got to go. I got to take my video camera and head up into those woods. So we'll see you for more next time from here at Homesteading Off the Grid. I saw you, you Bigfoot Sasquatch. Potentially.